Hey, you've made it in. You are here. You're a mystic. You're an awakened woman. You are ready to take your business to the next level with getting paid clients. So, we are here talking about the Mystic Coach's Roadmap to Success. And we're going to go over the steps that it takes for you to actually go from life coaching certification to getting paid clients. Okay. And a little story about myself. When I first started doing coaching, I didn't have a, a formula to get from point A to point B. I really didn't. I hired coaches and I was more confused after I hired the coaches than I was before. Um, and really, the roadmap didn't show up until after I had done amazing work with myself, with specific coach that helped me really align the pieces of who I am, not just of what I want to do, but actually of who I am. And so these are some of the skill sets um, that you need to be thinking about when you're creating a coaching business. Okay, so we're really going to talk about the step-by-step process to get paid clients, and I'm actually going to walk you through what it took for me to get, to make 24K in 30 days, and what it took my clients to get to enroll 4K clients. We use the same process, the same method. Okay, so we're going to talk about what the steps are. And so I want you to write this down, right? I want you to write this down. I want you to keep track of it. And I want you to know what it's going to take for you to, to get the paid clients. And I want this to be smooth and easy, right? Like we don't have to take the long way. We don't have to make things difficult. And oftentimes I was that person. Like I was the person who said, I'm going to do this all on my own. I have to do it by myself. And I had to have that methodology. I had to do it all by myself. And in reality, that just is shooting yourself in the foot. That's what I was doing every single time. So that I don't recommend you stick to those guns and say you have to do it by yourself. A lot of times when we first start coaching or we first start stepping into a different space, we want to have that autonomy. We want to have that self sovereignty, but really we need guidance. Okay. We really need guidance because there are people that have been doing this way longer than I have, way longer than my coach has. Um, and everybody they know the steps to success and they have secrets, right? So we don't need to do all of the weeding out and trying to figure it out on our own. And actually, that cost me 65K to try and do it on my own. So, what I want you to know is I'm here to actually shorten and collapse time for you so you don't have to do all the extraneous stuff that is going to bog you down, is going to make you go down the rabbit hole. We don't want that, right? We want to have a path of least resistance. And so when I'm working, for those of you that know me, you know that I'm an energetics coach, that I work on a somatic level, right? And so some of the things we need to remember is that we're creating the path of least resistance, and we're doing that through this methodology, which came up through my process that I work with my clients. So I want to let you know that this is the exact roadmap I take my clients through to get them results. And this is the exact roadmap that I took myself through. Right. So, okay. So you're writing this down. You have a notepad. What is the first thing you need to know? Okay. The first thing you really need to know is that you're going to pick a sub niche. Okay. A lot of times people are talking about niche, 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 niche. Okay. And when we think about a niche, that's important, super, super important. But you want to be a specialist, right? You don't want to be a generalist. So if you're teaching purpose and you're coaching on purpose, then you need to be very specific with who it is you're working with, right? Um, and the reason this is true is because specialists make a lot more money and they actually attract their ideal clients versus um, attracting a broad spectrum of people. Okay. So we really want to get specific on who you help, who you serve, and be very specific on who it is. You want to dial that in really, really well. And you also want to know which sub niche you're working in, right? We also want to take that through a different layers. And so when we do this work, we go through that together and we dial their sub niche in really tightly so you are actually attracting the right clients. Okay, because oftentimes we have a big broad spectrum and we're just not getting clients. That's a piece of it. It's because we haven't dialed that in enough. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to help you build out your process. And this is a massive piece that keeps getting overlooked. Okay, this is the piece that is my zone of genius that has actually transformed like programs into income, coaching into income. And that's because of the clarity that you get from actually getting your process dialed in. Okay. So you need to know your process start to finish. And the reason that is that so you understand the outcomes intimately on that very intimate level. So when you go to have conversations, when you go to do social media posts, when you're doing your marketing, when you're doing your messaging, when you're on sales calls, you understand so well what you do and what the outcome they get that it's almost impossible for you not to be confident and comfortable in what you're speaking about and automatically attract that in, right? If you're wavered on any of your process or any of your program, the energy is out of alignment. So you're not going to be attracting the right clientele. Okay. So you really want to know that. And the reason we also do that is so you can get out of the one-on-one. Okay. So if you've been doing one-on-one work, this is a key step for you to move from the one-on-one to the group coaching. Okay. It's really important for you to understand that that will help you totally transition and get you the time freedom that you've been looking for. Okay. One-on-ones are lovely. We love our one-on-ones. And that really is going to bring us to this next space where we want to have a group program, but you also want to have a high level one-on-one, high ticket one-on-one. And so the way we do this is we actually do your product suite development. Okay. And so for an example, you need to know who's in your low ticket items. Who is your low ticket audience for, right? You also need to know who your high ticket audience is for. So there's variation in your niche, in your sub niche, and in your product suite development. And so we really need to look at your product suite development, create those unilateral programs and opportunities and offers so you're drawing in the right clientele and you're actually walking them through the process to saying yes to themselves at that higher level, right? Because that's really what we're doing as coaches, right? So, and the way you do that is you build a process for both of the programs, okay? And just as an example, I worked with an amazing woman not too long ago, and we developed her product suite development. And from her program alone, we were able to create multiple offers and have different levels and variations of her program. And I actually helped her put together a sequential order of operations for her to funnel people in, right? So it's looking at not just the program, but it's looking at the spectrum of your offers. Okay. Then the next thing you need to do is audience development. Okay. And you're going to build out your audience full of people who want this thing that you offer, right? And when we need to do that, we're really creating this content that is going to speak directly to these people so that you can launch, right? And that's the key. You can't do the content creation and energetically attract clients that are really interested in what you do and what you offer if you don't understand what you do and what you offer, right? And the opportunities that are there. So it all comes back to that other step of creating your process. Okay. So here's what happens. You also need to be wary that you have to put together a launch strategy, right? And a signature launch strategy is just is specific to you because I'm going to talk about the launch strategy that I invested 20K in. I invested 20K into this launch strategy and I could not figure it out for the life of me. It was really designed for a team of coaches to put this together, where I was a solopreneur. I was by myself. And so this really wasn't a good fit. And it wasn't clear in the messaging and marketing. And so I just went ahead and invested in this thing that just didn't work. And it worked for a different group of people. And so we need to know what is going to work for you, right? Because everyone's different and every launch strategy doesn't work the same, right? For everyone, it doesn't work the same. So the other thing is, you, like I just gave you the example, you should never buy a cookie cutter launch strategy. Like that is not something I would ever recommend. And in fact, I would not recommend investing in any strategy until you understand your offers, your product suite development, your niche, your sub niche, and everything else that we just talked about. Okay. So the strategy, you need to take that off the table right now. You need to understand the actual audience development. Okay. And then you need to get one that works specifically for you when it comes to a launch, right? And there's different methods to do that. There's different ways to do that. And that is something that I go over with my clients when we work together and we come up with their offer suite developments. We are able to establish which strategy is going to work for them, which launch is going to be right for them. And that's a piece of the puzzle, right? Like you want to make sure that it feels good to you and that you love it. Because if you don't love it, you're not going to do it and you're not going to light up when you show up for people. Okay. So we really want you to have the strategy that you absolutely love, that you love to do, and you love to bring it to other people. Okay. Then you're going to need to know how to onboard your clients. Okay. There's a specific way to onboard clients. If you just enroll them and you don't have a process to get them into your offer, to get them rolling right away, you're going to notice that there may be some difficulties getting through your program. And so we want to make sure that that onboarding process is smooth and is really engaging and it lights people up. So they're ready to take action on your offer, right? On your program. And so the next piece, once you have that dialed in, the next thing is you need to know how to do coaching development for multiple people at the same time. So this is moving from one-on-one to your group coaching. So you have to think about this as, how do you structure your coaching so that it's actually going to support all the people in your program, right? So you need to learn the strategies and the skill sets and the methodology and the way to structure your program that is actually going to get the results that you promise. And so as I work with people, we come up with a plan of action for them to actually get really good at this, the coaching multiple people in groups, right? As a teacher, this is just my skill set, right? Like this is just natural. I've been teaching for 25 years. It's something that I love to do, is get in this groove and get in this group and get people activated and get them motivated and taking action. And this is a really important piece of success for you and your future, right? We want to get it to a point. This is actually going to take you and eliminate tons and tons of upfront marketing, because you're going to have such great outcomes and you're going to have such great experiences that your clients are going to keep coming back, or they're going to refer people. It is just that good. Okay. So that's how much that key element is really important in your process. Okay. And these steps here. And then we talked about the product suite development, but you need to know how to create ascension offers for the people once they've finished your program. And that's exactly what we just talked about, was how critical it is for you to be able to coach multiple people and get them results and get them powerful experiences, so they take action and so they see and see the change, see the transformation in themselves, right? So once you do that, where do they go after they are done working with you? right? You have to have an ascension offer for those people, because those are the people that you want to grow with, right? And that also creates the opportunity for recurring income, right? And every offer is going to need an ascension offer, right? So you have opportunities for people to keep working with you. And that's really a key in the eliminating a lot of the upfront marketing costs. And so this is a huge key element, and also getting your products developed and getting clients that are actually actively engaged in your program. Okay. And then you're going to need to create the momentum of sales, right? And sales, to me, before I started coaching, before I started doing the inner work, because when I first started coaching, sales was a dirty word, right? Money was something that we didn't talk about in the home. I was told, I don't know about you, but I was told that you never talk about or ask questions about people's salary, right? You just never do. And so this was a dirty word. This was a concept that was totally foreign to me. And it was really icky, and it made me constrict, and I just didn't have the words and the confidence to go through the process. But it's really important to go into sales with a sales as service mentality. And you can do that once you understand all of the other pieces that come before. So if you can do all of the pieces that come before, this is where you're going to be able to show up and create that momentum of sales, right? If you're doing all the pieces, all the steps up to this moment. And then you really want to take this and feed them back to your market, feed all of these great things that are happening back into your marketing strategy. Okay. So once you start getting this momentum of sales, and you start getting testimonials, and you get results, and people are loving you and your offers, and everything that you're doing, this is how you introduce this into your marketing, right? You start feeding these back into your marketing strategy, so you attract more clients, and you get more clear as you get more experience with clientele. So all of these pieces are super critical, and they go off one another, right? So basically, I know I've covered these steps. Let's go ahead and just recap really quickly. I don't have it listed out. I just literally went through and put together this training. But the first thing is, we're going to go over this, is you're going to pick your sub niche. Okay. Make sure you're writing this down. Pick your sub niche. The next thing you're going to do is build out your process. That is key. This is where I differ from a lot of coaches, because a lot of coaches don't go as deep in this step. Okay. And that's why my clients get so much clarity, is because we go through this process. Okay. So the second step is building out your process. And that's start to finish. Okay. So you need to know the A to Z. All right. And then you want to, additionally, once you have that, you're going to be able to coach from a wide angle lens. Okay. That means going from a one-on-one to a group program. Okay. So then you need to know your product suite development. Okay. What products are you going to offer? Right? What are your offers? How do you flip your one-on-ones to be your high ticket instead of your low ticket? A lot of times when we first start coaching, we do one-on-ones. The complaint is that it's $120 an hour. And really, energetically, that's out of alignment, right? Your one-on-ones need to be flipped. So how do you do that, right? So that's your product suite development. Okay. Then the next thing you need to do is audience development. That's 4. The next thing you need to do is creating content, right? That is going to speak directly to your audience, right? So you can actually launch. The next thing you need to know and do is put together a launch strategy. So that's 6 is reversed, right? So here's 5, here's 6. Launch strategy. You need to have a signature launch strategy, right? One that's going to work for you. And then the next thing you need to do is have a very amazing, beautiful onboarding experience for your clients, right? That is going to make or break your business. It's such an amazing, an important piece of the program and the process. Okay. Then you need to know how to coach. This is number 9, how to coach for groups of people, right? You need to develop those skills, how to group for groups of people, and what methodology, strategies, skills that you can incorporate in your program to make it most effective. Okay. And then you're going to need to know how to create your ascension offers, right? What comes next after they finish your proprietary method, your program, your signature program, right? What comes next for them? What do you have to offer? And that's your ascension offer. And then you need to be able to feed all of these amazing testimonials and all these amazing things back into your marketing strategy to actually have this an effective marketing strategy. Okay. So now you have your map, right? You have everything you need to be successful as a life coach. Now you know how to tackle it. Now you know where to start, what you need to do next. But what I found is that a lot of people really struggle in this one place, right? And the one place that I've been talking about is really being able to niche down. This is a huge piece because everybody says, well, I can help everybody. We know you can help everybody, but that does not work in marketing. That does not work to attract clients to you. So it's really important that you niche down and you pick a specialty, right? They have a hard time, and a lot of people have a hard time picking a specialty. And that's really what I help my clients do first, right? Is get a specialty, dial that in so you are known for exactly that thing. So we really need to dial that. That's one of the key things that's really difficult. And so what I've decided to do is I'm going to be hosting a masterclass next week that is going to help you dial all of this in so that you can choose a monetizable specialty, right? We want to make sure that it is actually a monetized audience, right? We want to draw in people. We want to know that this niche is actually going to bring in money that is attractive to your audience so they pay for it, right? So we need to make sure that we do that. So we're going to talk about that in the next class. And then well, I mean, here's an example. So here's an example. Like my client Jillian, she had this really broad topic. She had this really broad thing, and she had been marketing to this thing for a period of time, 8 months or more. And this was her specialty, but it was calling in people who were stuck in struggle, right? So it wasn't working for her. It wasn't working for her. She wasn't bringing in the people that she really was passionate about working with. And so we sat down and really found a focus and narrowed that in so she could be very, very specific. And then we put her process together, like we talked about, and we built her launch strategy and plan. And then she was able to close 4 high ticket clients in 30 days. And she was able to bring in people to her signature program based on the work we did together. And actually the work we did together, it was my high ticket program and it was a one-on-one, right? So the one-on-one, I walked her through all of this. We did all of this within a 4-hour session with a couple additional hours here and there. And she had everything she needed to launch her business right away. Like this is the genius, the magic that comes when you have a guide that has the experience with curriculum and education and learning, and then also who is somatic and who has the skill set to be a guide and a channel in the process of creating your magic, right? So we've got that's exactly what we did for her. So we've done all of this for her in that session. So in this masterclass that's coming up, we're going to really focus on the sub niche for you. We're going to focus on getting that specialty dialed in. We're going to focus on the monetizable niche. And then that's exactly what I'm going to show you in this next masterclass. Okay. And that's exactly what we did for Jillian. We got her sub niche dialed in, and we dialed it down to ensure she got the highest and best clients, that we're getting the highest and best results, right? Because that's what we want. We want to deliver on our promise. We want to make transformation. That's why you're here, right? That's why everybody is doing the coaching, because you can do so much with coaching you can't do in a traditional setting. And that's the same for teachers. Teachers are branching out because there's so much more you could do as a coach than you can as an educator in a public education system, right? Because there's so many constraints. That's why therapists are branching out to be coaches, so they can have freedom and autonomy in their business and make decisions. And so that's really what we're going to focus on in the next masterclass. So I invite you to join. There will be a link to register as well, so you can show up to the Zoom and be here live and present, so you can get your questions answered. And that is going to be, I believe, on the 20. I have it on the 21st, but I will post the link again and post in the group, so you have access to it, and so you can actually go ahead and register. Okay. All right. I hope this was helpful. Take this roadmap, implement it now, start doing the thing that is going to help you get in to take the next step, right? That's all we need to do is, we need to understand, first of all, that action takers get results. So those of you that show up, those of you that are here, those of you that are watching or watching the replay, you are actually taking action. You are actually taking action. You are taking action to get the next level result. And you just need to focus on one foot in front of the other. So go to the next strategy. If you're unsure, sign up for the masterclass so I can walk you through that, so we can get that dialed in for you. And so we can really harness this magnetic attraction marketing that we're looking for. Okay. And then I'll see you on the next masterclass.